going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Gabriel Show. So, I was speaking to some youngins, and I was asking them, what do you want to do when you grow up? And one of them looked at me, and he said, I want to be a YouTube star. I want to go on YouTube and, show people what I do, make some money and, live an amazing life. And, and the other one's like, yeah, I want to do that too. I want to be an influencer, blah, blah, blah. And it just blew my mind, because I'm not even that old, but in my time, people would say, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I'd want to be a nurse. Oh, I'd want to be an engineer. So why do you want to do that? And I was like, well, I want to be rich. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, so I was like, okay, so you're basically saying you want to be rich. You want to do it for the money, basically. And who am I? Who am I to tell them not to do YouTube? I'm not going to tell them not to chase their dreams, because obviously you're watching this video on YouTube. But do you know you could be rich, you can build wealth without YouTube? No, seriously. You don't necessarily need YouTube in order to be wealthy. And I see a lot of people nowadays, they start a YouTube channel and they have it in their mind where, hey, I want to just create this YouTube channel and just, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much money, this and that. But then they start it and they stop, because they see it's not what it comes out like. How they say it's not gonna be that easy. It's actually tough. Now, see, for me, I'm creating this YouTube channel. It's just a documentation of my life. I want to look at these moments when I'm 40, and I want my sons to look at it so we can have like a nostalgic moment, and he could be like, wow, Dad, you really were doing what you said. I think you should have a YouTube channel for that. But I don't really believe, if you really want to teach somebody how to do something, you have a skill, it is a good business. But I don't necessarily believe you need YouTube in order to build wealth. Now, let's talk about wealth. Let's talk about how you can build wealth without YouTube. Because maybe you're not like me. Maybe you don't want to go in front of the camera and show people and talk to people. Maybe you're not that comfortable. So how can you do it without? Well, the first thing you're going to need if you truly want to build wealth is an income, a job. How much money are you making a year? Are you making $50,000 a year? Are you making $100,000 a year? Are you making $150,000 a year? You're getting my point. The amount of money you make a year, that's called your active income. You're going to work actively. You're trading your hours for dollars. What you need to do is turn your active income into passive income. How do you do that? Well, you're going to have to use your active income and buy assets. You see, the problem with today's generation is we go to work and we use our hard-earned money and we buy liabilities, not assets. And hey, I'm going to put my hand up. I was one of those people. I was buying liabilities. I fell into $250,000 worth of debt. Now, what is the debt? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what are the main liabilities that people fall into. What are the traps? Well, there's three major line items when it comes to consumer debt. That's credit cards, student loans, and your car payments. If you could avoid those three and not get into these debts to begin with, you'll be way ahead of most Americans. But if you are already in debt, you need to get out of debt as soon as possible if you want to build wealth. Because you can't build wealth if you're giving your active income to somebody else. You're not paying yourself. You're giving your active hard-earned money to a dealership, to an institution, and to another family, but you're not giving it to your own family. So that's the first step. You need to pay off all your consumer debt. Once you have an income, you use your active income, you pay off all your consumer debt. Now we can start talking about generating wealth into your family, into your life. First of all, I want you to think about it. How would it feel like if you had no debt? If you didn't have no credit card payment, no student loan payment, no car payment, for some people, just being debt-free is enough. I remember when I was in $250,000 worth of debt, I couldn't breathe. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Once I paid that off, my life felt extremely better. I felt free because I remember going to work because I have to. Now I go to work because I want to. And I'm not saying that as a flex, but you get to enjoy what you do. You see, I'm a nurse. I wasn't enjoying being a nurse before, but now I enjoy it. I'm actually looking at these people's veins and taking my time. I'm going to work and I'm using my active income and I'm investing and I see how my life is changing, how I'm building up my net worth. But before, I did not know what my money was doing, where it was going. I was living paycheck to paycheck because I was buying liabilities. So that's what we have to do. Change your mindset. Don't use your active income and buy liabilities. Now that you have no consumer debt, what do we do next? You have to build an emergency fund. You see, this emergency fund is what's going to save you from going back into debt. A lot of time people pay off their debt and they don't build up a cushion. But as soon as a problem happens, you go back to your credit card. You swipe or you ask somebody to borrow money. Then you start back at square one. You need to build an emergency fund. You need to build a rainy day fund, at least 10 bands. I'm not going to tell you, I don't know what your situation is. You might be a multi-millionaire. You may need $1 million in your emergency fund. But you need to create a good solid cushion where you don't go back into debt. Now that you have an active income, you're going to work, I don't care how much you're making, you paid off all your debt, and you're living below your means as well. Because let's say you're making $100,000 a year. If you're spending $100,000 a year, that's no good for you. Like I said, now we need to buy assets with our active income. What are the assets you can purchase? Because I spoke to you guys about the liabilities. I spoke to you guys about the consumer debt. What are the assets you can purchase? Some assets you can purchase are real estate, stocks, businesses, gold, crypto. Those are some of the ones I could tell you off the top of my head. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But you could choose to invest your money into either one of these assets. See, these assets is going to create passive income for you. What does that mean? Passive income is money that you didn't go to work for. Basically, let's say you have a rental property. Let's say you're paying rent. You see, you go to work and you use your hard-earned money to pay your rent. Your landlord did not go to work for you. So my point is, your landlord is using your money to pay his mortgage. You are his passive income. Are you getting my gist? If you invest in stocks and you get a dividend, that's passive income. It's money you make in your sleep. So a lot of people, they're so concerned about how much money they're making a year. Like, oh, I'm making 100 grand a year. I'm making 200 grand. I'm making 300 grand. And then I'm asking them, how much are you making in passive income? Like, what's that? We're not talking about wealth, like there's a lot of people on YouTube who makes a lot of money, generating a lot of revenue, and they're not even investing their money back into their business. They're not even investing. So we have to be smart, guys. When you start to make your income and you purchase these assets, that's when the passive income comes. And you know what you do with it? You reinvest it. You reinvest it and you let it build. Next thing you know, your net worth start going up. Your net worth start to increase. And you could do that while you're working your 9 to 5. Now I have a lot of people saying, yo, how can I invest? What are some of the assets I can get into? I don't have enough money to get into real estate right now. What else can I invest in? Should I do GameStop? Should I do what? Dogecoin, this, that? The number one easiest vehicle you could use to invest is your company-sponsored 401k. The job you're working at right now is actually helping you. They want you to get wealthy. Some people are begging their jobs for a raise and they don't even know that their job has a 10% double match. They don't even know what type of contributions they should be making because they don't want to think that far out ahead. They're not trying to think about retirement. I get it. The 401k, you have to wait till you're 59 and a half in order to withdraw the money. But let me tell you something. If you can delay your gratification, if you could just wait patiently, live below your means, invest at least 25% of your income. You let that ride, I guarantee you, you will be rich, wealthy, whatever you want to call it, without YouTube. Notice in everything I discussed, I did not discuss anything about YouTube making me wealth. Now, once you get out of debt, once you start investing, let's say you invest until your company sponsored 401k, then you could use, if you have any other money available, you could open up a brokerage account. Then you can start investing into stocks, ETFs, index funds. I'm not a financial advisor. You're going to have to, but this is just a black person on YouTube you clicked on, and I'm just trying to give you a little bit of the game. You're going to have to do your due diligence. Now, if you have free time, then if you have a passion, then you can go on YouTube. Then you can create a YouTube channel. But you need to make sure that you have your stuff lined up. Don't tell your kids, yo, I didn't build generational wealth because this YouTube didn't work out. Don't tell your family that. That's not what they want to hear. You could be rich without YouTube. And that's what I want you to know today. Now, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to come up with some other ones, but I'm going to get this workout in now. Peace.